Well, that's good sports. I'm Brandon. I feel like I'm saying this for the 15th year in a row, but the Broncos are in the market for a quarterback this draft, Perna. So are the Redskins Potatoes, the Cardinals, as well as maybe the Raiders, Giants, Bengals, God forbid the Patriots, and possibly the Miami Dolphins, unless they're planning on sucking in 2019 to get the first pick in the 2020 draft. Which, after seeing how Jay Cutler unclogged Kristin Cavallari's milk ducts by sucking harder than he has ever sucked, they may have gotten rid of the man best suited to complete the task 2 years too soon. I thought I was on top of the milk-sucking joke on Twitter last night, but I wasn't. I said the same fucking thing everyone else said, and I am ashamed for letting you down. Milk suck joke? More like milk dud joke. That redeems me. Anyway, Jay Cutler is a cautionary tale of what can happen during an uncertain QB draft. Sure, we all love Jay Cutler's sassy ass and succulent lips now, but when sucking your wife's baby feeders brings you more positive attention than your play on the field ever did, I think it's fair to say taking him at 11 was too high. And he was far better than Vince Young and Matt Leinart taken before him in that draft. This QB draft class feels similar, but I could be wrong, and we'll take a look at the top 5 QBs in this class in this episode. That's good sports. Look, if you're new to this YouTube channel and you love football videos, subscribe. And if you're old here, try the notification button. I do have big dick Patreon shoutouts for Sean Ferguson, Colin H., Cade Meyer, and Carl Adderton stepping in with the 10 spot. Patreon.com/ThatsGoodSports is how you can support this channel. Your monthly donations are how I pay the bills. I appreciate everyone doing it. Let's talk fucking football. This year, 2019, there's not a ton of demand for quarterback in the top 10 compared to other drafts, which means the Cardinals, Raiders, Giants, and Broncos could all possibly get the QB they want where they're at, as we're not even sure any of those teams will definitely go QB with their first pick. So what I want to do is introduce you to the big name signal callers in this draft, potential ballers that could be sitting on the bench while Eli gets another year because of his last name and Joe Flacco is flacking off with the starters. This is a very diverse group of quarterbacks. We've got the potential first overall pick who needs help reaching high objects, a QB whose brothers are more famous than him, and a gunslinger who has the best QB mustache since Jeff Hostetler. Unfortunately, Gardner Minshew didn't make the top 5, which means he'll probably be the only guy in this draft to go to the Hall of Fame.
Kyler Murray, Oklahoma, not Texas Tech. I would never accidentally say Texas Tech and then edit an entire video where I said Kyler Murray went to Texas Tech when he clearly went to Oklahoma. I am not Stephen A. Smith. Oh man, no.
Pro, I already did a Kyler Murray video. Con, I wasted all my good jokes for him in that video. At this point, it's universally expected that the Cardinals are going to trade last year's first round pick, Josh Rosen, and take Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray with the first pick. And if not, then this must be the most elaborate April Fool's prank on Josh Rosen ever. Murray is pretty much known for 3 things. He won the Heisman, he's only 5'10", yeah, and my penis is a full 6 inches, and he changed his mind and left the Oakland A's at the altar to play football. My question is... Something broke. My question is, why would the Cardinals lie about coveting Kyler Murray? There's no need to do that when you have the first overall pick, unless you want to trade the first pick. The Raiders, the other team rumored to have a full 5.10-inch hard-on for Murray, have the draft ammo to appeal to the Cardinals. Regardless, Kyler is widely considered the best quarterback in this draft. Pro, he used to be in the chess club in grade school, which shows patience and intellect. Con, I wouldn't tell that to your teammates. They might think you're a fucking nerd, and not the cool kind of nerd like Peyton Manning, the weird nerd who eventually gets a restraining order because he doesn't know how to talk to girls. Pro, small enough to hide behind his offensive lineman like a shy kid hiding under his mom's skirt or a scared kid hiding under Tom Brady's lips. Con, Josh Rosen, could easily win the quarterback job by placing Kyler's helmet on top of his locker. Pro is a true dual threat quarterback and is the most accurate in this draft class. Con, he will be living in the shadow of Baker Mayfield, which is twice as long as Kyler Murray's shadow at around sunset. Pro, could have the best nickname in the league with Kyler Rin, or should I say Ben Solo. Con, would probably have to play for the Raiders to become a villain worthy of the Kyler Rin nickname. Pro, never had a hot tub in his dorm room. Con, only because he would have drowned in it. Overall, Kyler Murray's best fit is on any team. He's that good, and he can literally fit anywhere. P.S. I am hoping to replace Rivers' too many kids jokes with Kyler Murray short jokes this football season. Stay tuned. Next, we've got Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State University. Dwayne Haskins only played one full season at Ohio, but he threw for 50 touchdowns in his short tenure and led the team to a Rose Bowl and victory of January in... You make sense, son? He led the team to a Rose Bowl victory in January. He was so good, in fact, that he caused Urban Meyer to retire. And that's the only reason Urban Meyer retired. Now here's the QB conundrum with Haskins, and even Murray for that matter. We only have one full season to evaluate, which was played with a very good Ohio State team. How much of that contributes to Haskins' success on the field, and how much of that is he responsible for? In terms of accuracy, he's about the same as the top 5 quarterbacks in this class, not named Kyler Murray, who again is above them. He doesn't have a great passing grade under pressure, but the only quarterback who did was Kyler Murray. But that's also a misleading stat and can have a lot to do with scheme, experience, and circumstances. Take Case Keenum, for example. He was decent under pressure in 2017 and terrible under pressure in 2018 with comparable offensive line play. Or Jameis Winston, who is great under pressure but wildly inconsistent in almost all other passing situations. Pro will become the best pro athlete named Dwayne after this NBA season. Con will not be the best athlete named either Haskins or Hoskins or Baskins or Robbins. Pro, slow as hell, but Stephen A. Smith called him a running quarterback, so maybe he knows something we don't. Con will have to give up the number 7 if he's drafted by Denver, which is better than if Washington takes him, where he will eventually have to give up one of his legs. Pro performed well in the Big Ten, which has tougher defenses than the Big 12. Con will probably be one of those guys that says they're from the Ohio State in his player intros. Pro wore a John Elway jersey to his pre-draft visit with the Denver Broncos. Con, when asked, where did you get that jersey, he replied,
I took it from your closet, John, while you were sleeping.
And then just stared into John Elway's eyes without blinking. Pro, he's the first guy to make John Elway nervous since the late Derek Thomas, who sacked Elway 26 times during his career, more than any other player. Pro, if Haskins does somehow land in Denver, he doesn't have to worry about any Kansas City Chiefs edge rushers, because like Derek Thomas, they are all gone. Con, some questions about his accuracy with deep balls. Pro, no question about his ability to go balls deep. Pro, played at a big school. Con, may have trouble hearing the crowd. All in all, Haskins reminds me of Michael Vick because of his speed on the field, and Steve Young because of his ability to scramble and that they are both white quarterbacks. Okay, ESPN, make me the highest paid anchor on your network now, please. Drew Locke, Missouri Tigers. Drew Locke was a 4-year starter at Missouri, which mostly means that he got the shit beat out of him by the rest of the SEC for 4 years by virtue of playing for Missouri. Out of all the quarterbacks, Locke is most likely to go to the Broncos, which you know if you've been keeping up with Elway's visits and comments. That in itself should probably scare you about him. Drew Locke, pro, had that awesome throw against Alabama. Con, he'll have a great opportunity to do this again whenever he gets 6 or 7 whole seconds to throw in the NFL and is down by 20 points. Extra con, that was the only touchdown they scored in that game. Pro, has similar mechanics to Patrick Mahomes. Con, that's where the comparison ends. Pro, his name sounds a lot like Andrew Luck. Con, that's where the comparison ends. Pro, threw 44 touchdowns in 2017. Con only threw 28 touchdowns in 2018 with more passing attempts, but had a higher completion percentage, which makes me confused. Anyone who confuses me is a threat. Pro, already knows the importance of hanging loose. Con was coached by John Gruden at the Senior Bowl, who probably told him all of the wrong things to do in case Elway does draft him. Pro, has improved every season. Con, if he's anything like his father John Locke from Lost, he's only got one good season left before he disappoints all of us when it matters the most. Con, whichever team does draft him, the fans will get this poorly written headline in at least one blog. It's a lock, Drew to the whoever's. Overall, Drew Locke doesn't excite me, though he may have the biggest arm in the top 5. He has a tendency to miss easy throws and played in an offense so simple even Paxton Lynch could have picked it up. Plus, I don't trust a quarterback who at 6'3" has smaller hands than Kyler Murray. I just don't, and I'm not going to explain why, but I don't. Same way I don't trust a hot dog that hasn't been boiled and grilled. Then we've got Duke quarterback Daniel Jones. The best thing about Duke's Daniel Jones is he's been coached by the same guy that coached Eli and Peyton Manning. If I'm Daniel's agent, I'm just going to go ahead and shorten that to the same guy who has coached Peyton Manning. He's not a flashy passer, but he's a mechanically sound passer who ran a pro-style offense in college, which I guess means something, especially for a pros and cons list. Daniel Jones is probably the guy who is benefiting the most from a weak quarterback draft class. He did progress quite a bit from 2017 to 2018, which means he could do the same in the pros. When I say he's not a flashy passer, I mean he's best in the short passing game and gets progressively worse the further he's asked to throw the ball. Daniel Jones, pro, never threw more than 11 interceptions in a season. Con, the only Duke athlete not to be embroiled in a pay-to-play scandal. Pro, was the MVP of 3 different bowl games. Con, don't worry, it was none of the good bowls. Pro, makes up for an average arm with good footwork and a quick release like Tom Brady. Con, 6'5" and played under center, so he may need to install a Cape Fear style security system in his house to keep John Elway away. Pro, maybe the Giants take him because of his ties to Eli's coach. Con, the biggest media market in the country, New York, will be left with Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, the most vanilla combo of NFL quarterbacks since Phil Simms and Ken O'Brien. Pro, he's just as comfortable in his work clothes as he is in a suit and tie. A real lunch pail guy with a blue collar, because he mixed his white laundry with his blue Duke uniforms. Con, could literally be confused with any middle-aged white dude in a Daniel Jones Google search. The truth? I hope the Raiders draft him because he scares me 0% as a quarterback of a division rival. And finally, we have Will Grier from West Virginia. Next to Kyler Murray, he has the best tree stump grade from Pro Football Focus, which means he might be the second best passer in this top 5 draft class, or the second best lumberjack. Which means if Haskins and Murray go first and second, I think Grier should be the third quarterback selected, not Locke or Jones. He finished with the 5th best deep ball passing grade in 2018 and 3rd best overall passing grade. Joe Flacco, a quarterback who loves the deep ball just as much as any, would be the perfect mentor stylistically for Will Grier. Grier averaged 10 air yards per attempt at West Virginia and had a great touchdown to interception ratio, 71 TDs to 20 interceptions. That's 34 and 37 touchdowns in his last 2 seasons. Call me crazy, but I like quarterbacks who throw a lot of touchdowns. Pro, also had 122 rushing yards and 2 rushing TDs in 2017. Con had negative 90 rushing yards, but more rushing touchdowns with 3 in 2018. I already said how I hate being confused, right? Con has unimpressive biceps. Pro makes up for unimpressive biceps with a tattoo of a forest on his arm/shoulder area, which means he is best suited to play in the forests of Colorado. Pro wore number 7 like John Elway, another Colorado tie, and also had the number 7 sticking out from his thigh pads, forming an Illuminati triangle around his junk. John Elway is a member of the Illuminati, and he's not even that high of ranking in the Illuminati, which would surprise you. Con was suspended in 2015 with the Florida Gators for taking performance-enhancing drugs. Pro, that shows he's willing to do anything to win. And if Tom Brady has taught us anything, it's that you have to cheat to be a good quarterback in the NFL. Con, left Florida for West Virginia, which is like trading a condo for a townhouse. They're the same, it's the same place. And also shows he may have some issues with authority and or coachability. Pro, is loved by his teammates, possesses strong leadership qualities, and knows how to escape a pass rush. Con, had a bad combine and senior bowl. Pro, was never busted for smoking a bowl as a senior. Pro, probably didn't do too well at the combine because he cut off the source of his power, his long, beautiful hair. Pro, sort of looks like and plays like Baker Mayfield. Pro, can grow back his hair. Pro, has way more pros than all of the other quarterbacks in this episode. His best fit is with the Denver Broncos, mainly because after doing more research, I now like him better than Dwayne Haskins. I think he's got the right kind of confidence to lead an NFL team. And thanks to everyone who answered my question in the community tab about whether I should do this as 5 videos or 1 video about all 5 QBs. The 1 video won, and sometimes I just don't know what to do, so your advice helped. And this was my quarterback draft breakdown episode. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, at Brandon Perna. If you want to talk to me about football shit there, you can. Also, Game of Thrones is coming up. If you want to tweet Game of Thrones stuff, I will look forward to that more than football for the next 8 weeks or whatever. Also, check out Will Keys 6 on Twitter. He helps me write football stuff.